Okay, that you would still need to, you'd have to do discovery, you'd still have to, in fact, I think they said that he would have to do more work. Was that right?
Well,
watch the video. And the other thing that I want to say this for you to hear and for the village board to hear is that these videos, when you watch them, you have an opportunity to respond to each video. In other words, if somebody says something and it's wrong, yeah, you could go and take New York State civil law, you know, the particular code, and become very specific and post it in response in a video format.
But Neil,
you can just turn your laptop on.
That we're getting into the technical this, that, and all this who shot John.
Yeah.
This is Goshen, New York. We live here. I mean, when I go over to the village hall, I expect to put my hand out and get it be shaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so hello, Doug, how are you? I'm not angry at anybody over there. Okay? And I don't think anybody here is angry. But you know, you get into litigation, and we start going through all this, and we start spending a lot of damn money, I'm telling you, people are going to get angry.
Mm-hmm.
To include me. It is an absolute waste of money. And we'll spend more money suing each other than what's in stake here. And you know what? We need to get out of this. This has been going on for 2 years. It's time.
Well, I'll tell you just a closing remark. The thing that's very frustrating for me, at least, is that I get a different story from both boards, and they're completely contrary. Like one attorney, and they both studied.
In fairness,
let me finish. Let me just finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You've both studied law, right? Presumably the same. I don't suppose you went to the same schools, but you studied the same law, right?
Georgetown.
You had to pass the New York State bar exam and swear allegiance to the New York State Constitution, the U.S. Federal Constitution, but both of you have an extremely different interpretation of this. So I'm not challenging your interpretation or theirs. I just want to understand it.
Right, but I don't think it's necessarily interpretation. No question, there could be a difference of opinion. But if you notice what I said earlier was you can abrogate or set aside all those things if you agree on your own set of rules. And that's what you can do in an arbitration.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I get the impression, and in all fairness, Joel did give me a copy of the tape. I didn't have a chance to look at it. Yeah.
It's up online now.
It'll take me weeks technologically to get it to work, but that's another story.
Okay.
I can't speak for what goes on with other parties, okay? But I don't want to intimate that in any way it's agenda-driven. But many times an attorney will represent his client based upon what his client wants him or how he wants him to be represented, as opposed to what he or she believes truly the law to be, and it becomes a question of, areas of gray in terms of opinion, the recommendation. If I wanted to, me personally as an attorney, I could make an arbitration terribly expensive by doing certain things. It doesn't make sense, and I assume the client would find out and be very upset and discharge you accordingly. But you could. So in other words, there's a lot of truth to some of the statements. But it's analogous to what I said before in Doug's position, that he said on the record, I don't know, countless times, win, lose, or draw, we'll live by it, whatever the arbitration result is.
But on the one hand, I mean, I'm assuming that in their minds, and I think they even came out and said this. Oh, in fact, he did. Yeah, the mayor came out and said this. That, well, just because they say something doesn't mean that they're going to abide by it.
There was no trust there. Agreed, there was no trust there.
We certainly come out publicly and said we would. How many times have we said it publicly?
But an attorney, right, would surely advise you that, just because they say it, so it doesn't mean that it is.
You're giving too much credit to attorneys. You'd be shocked how many times an attorney at a municipal board will indicate what the law is, and if asked for a recommendation, will make one, and the board will reject that recommendation.
Still the board.
Yeah, exactly, because they have other considerations as opposed to a finite decision on technicalities of what the law might be. And that happens quite often. But again, in fact, I will say this to you, personally, Joel also, he spoke to me this afternoon, I'm meeting with Donovan tomorrow morning on unrelated matters, but I'm sure this will come up. And I'll discuss exactly what we're discussing here, because obviously if you guys are pained, there's probably other people out there pained by the confusion, and there really shouldn't be any. And the last people are talking their book, and I'm not criticizing an attorney now, I'm just, again, philosophy, perception, agendas, much like your comment. What is to stop the town from not adhering to what they promised to do? I don't think we would do that. Obviously, the mayor believes otherwise.
Well, you had mentioned Sitting Bull before. I think that was you,
I'm
right?
sorry?
Sitting Bull?
Yeah.
I mean, just about every federal Native American treaty has been broken.
161 treaties
Yeah.
down.
Okay, I think we beat this one to death.
None of them by the town of Goshen.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Neil's comments about the chicken chucker sparked something in me. Last year, I believe Mayor Higgins was the chicken guy dressed up like a chicken.
He was.
He was.
That's
well, you know, very good. I think, to be fair, this year, Supervisor Bloomfield should be the chicken.
How are you talking? I thought you were my friend.
Gary, you're overstuffed.
Yeah.
And everything I do is a profit. I am a
All right, well, let's end that.
I'm a graduate of the Secret Service Personal Protective Course.
Yeah.
The Olympics. I would be more than happy to protect you in your chicken soup when you're chucking the chicken or plucking the chicken. I don't know. What are you going to do with this chicken?
I don't like throwing chickens.
Very PC.
Very sensitive.
Unless no one has it.
I do.
You want to be a chicken.
So, like your battery dead.
While you're talking, we're going to interrupt.
Quickly, can you
Sure.
enumerate the 6 items that are being put up for surplus?
Sure.
Give me a copy of the list.
I'll give you a copy of it.
Just so people know.
An old chicken soup.
Hold on, I'll give you
Go
a
ahead.
Can you speak? I mean, I don't have a break.
I'd buy that.
While you're searching around for that, I wanted to say something quickly about this.
Here it is.
The 2010 Hummer.
Got my attention.
That's how it's chicken.
We're talking about milking chickens, now we're talking about hummer.
Easy, Dennis. Easy.
Better show George Sternrich.
Only 1,500 miles.
I gave him a list.
chicken.
Read the list.
Do you have the list?
We'll scan it and put it up on the.
Okay, that'd be good.
I wanted to comment very briefly, make a comment about the speed limit issue that was brought up
Yes.
tonight. I'm all for safe roads. I remember as a kid, my father made a point of always waving the paper in front of me every time there was an accident, another teenager injured or killed.
Right.
I guess I've become like my father. And I'm well aware of the accidents out on Dead Man's Curve, and there are problems with our roadways, and we don't want to have conditions where people are harmed. Nonetheless, that being said, I really have a problem with these situations where one person, where their own ox is being gored, ends up coming to the board to change a situation which affects everybody going down that road. And it creates situations where town cops, the sheriffs, sit there and nail people. Because all of a sudden you've got a diminution from 55 down to 30 for a short stretch, and you know, something that for years has been 50 or 55. It's just not right to have something change because one person has one pet peeve, and all of a sudden they're petitioning to have something changed. And I would hope that the board was, you passed it tonight, but
No, but that's why the state of New York has a procedure they follow.
And I would ask you
And they have a
just to
traffic engineer. Well, no, we can't do anything. They have to do it.
But in the future, and
Sure.
before referring this out to the state, be somewhat circumspect. If it's necessary, maybe study it before going to the state. But that being said, I want to move on to what's really important here.
Okay.
And that is that we're at a point in time which marks a year of our doing these videos. And I wanted to just take notice of and praise and congratulate Neil Hickok, because Neil has done the heavy lifting on this. It's because of Neil, he and I had spoken of this, and really Neil took the first step, and Neil has, for the past year, I'm behind him poking him with a stick, but Neil's done the heavy lifting. And I think the community really owes, well, he's here on time, so I don't have to be.
I think we do owe him.
And I think the community really owes him a debt of appreciation, and I'd like to...
And you as well. I didn't realize this was going on for a year. That time went by fast.
And I have to say that I'm amazed that we've lasted this long, and I didn't really expect that it would turn into the regular thing that it has.
And don't you enjoy it too?
Great service. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I bet.
Yeah,
You know what's going on, guys.
And it's great public service, so
It is.
thank you.
It is.
And what I'm really saying is that it's because of Neil